simpler heroes that we're used to seeing.
10 seconds to pick.
They don't have many stuns. Like, they have just basically Fire Blast, which isn't that great.
Hurry, hurry.
I mean, I guess if they're not very effective against Tiny, then it's okay. But I kind of feel like I really like LGD Forever Young's draft.
That buffed trap damage, though.
I don't know, man. I think DP's a great pick here. Razor's probably just going to get eaten alive later on. I don't know. I think LGD Forever Young has this. I really like their draft, and it's Monet Tiny again.
I think Razor used to be seen as a decent matchup against Death Prophet. But in this case, I mean, I think the Razor will have a decent matchup. It's going to be hard for them to be able to find these fights unless they can get to 5-man early. And, like, you know, again, that's what this team does. Probably more as like a signature preference than almost anybody else. So they're going to need to do that. They're going to have to live tempo with the Enchantress. They're going to have to push behind the tide early on if they want to win this game.
You still fancy LFY to take this into?
I think so. After watching game 1, I think LFY handles the details very well. I think. Well, I don't want to say this like as a region in general, but again, like these teams are very polished, just in general, like Chinese teams compared to some of the.
Are you saying North American teams aren't, Jack?
Well, maybe I don't know.
You're tearing his heart
a little
away.
bit inconsistent sometimes.
He's on a North American team, and then he's like from China. He's like, you know, it's his parents choosing between a divorce or something.
Yeah, he's kind of stuck there a little bit, isn't he? Like, we'll pull him apart afterwards. Time to hand you over to our commentary team for game number 2. Complexity down by a game, but not all is lost because a draw would mean the teams split the points. Let's find out how I get on in game number 2.
Well, it's so obvious now, Blitz. Obviously, the rust-covered Americans are incapable of winning this game, and LFY will take game 2.
What? I don't agree with that. Mainly because you just called what, rust-covered Americans?
Yeah? Hey, I'm just listening to our analyst desk, man. That's what Jack was going for.
Jack said that, man.
I'm glad you're watching. I'm glad you're watching. Well, we can get our tetanus shots later as America can get cured.
30
complexity.
seconds to video games.
Bringing in the Enchantress, bringing in the Tide, bringing the new and improved Templar Assassin. Okay, not that improved, but
It's kind of cool. The bonus damage from the traps is, like, it's cute.
it's that it's the timing as well, right? Timing to actually get to max. I think that also got changed.
I actually haven't played the new TA yet.
Now,
But you haven't had really that many opportunities to.
No, too many.
Patch only came out last night. Already a bit of a rune contest as Moo and Kyle try and force them out, but LFY win the 3 bounty rune game at least.
There's 1 bounty rune left. Oh.
Yeah, Kyle's coming back for it.
That's crazy that tree grab doesn't cost that much mana. Like, only 20? That's nothing.
Would you like to nerf it? That's not like having an Aghanim's at level 1, right?
Yeah, it's not the same. As mid, super. This is like pretty trademark for him.
Dial's top tower is
If there's a
under
hero that I
siege.
associated with him from his DK, it's his DP. The D heroes.
And Inflame is really pulling this creep wave hard. Zfreek can't chase it much further. Oh, there's Tree Toss. And the middle will be correct in the bottom lane.
That is an unexpected first blood, especially since Tidehunter, like one of the tankier offlaners, but he has Gush level 1, so no Kraken Shell, no tank.
It's like he's trying to work. Like they are pretty. Well, I don't want to say they're big bones on that bottom level with the 2 heroes, Kyle and Moo together.
Yeah, but they don't have that tankiness yet on that Tidehunter. It's not through his stats, which are pretty good. I mean, 600 HP is nothing to sneer at, but this Tiny's rocking 900. Toby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a real hero, you know? Like,
oh, the tree toss. That's gotta hurt. Just getting a giant tree tossed into your face every so often.
You know, this is what you need the Timbersaw against the Tiny.
Nah.
Just take away the trees.
What you should be able to do is like, there should be an option to eat the tree in the air, like tango it, if you're really fast.
You're gonna go for like a skill grab on the tree?
Yeah, if you're, that's how you take Dota to the next level. It's like, If you really want to be skilled, you should give people the ability to just like tango.
Well, that's when you have like
midair.
calling blades. Like you're trying to recreate like an action sequence like with Wolverine, where you just like pop your claws out and just like slice it in two when it flies at you.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I mean, it wouldn't be probably like realistic and stuff, but it's like, come on, what's realistic about this game? Like, a tiny man is like holding up a tree and like chucking it at people after using it as like a weapon a few times. Anything's possible.
Yeah, there's so many things in this game too which like don't match up as well. Like how many abilities are magical, which you're like, man, I'm fairly certain that's a physical attack.
Yeah. Like the balance alone makes no sense. He is so small. He supposed to carry it. There's no way that he's able to get like the momentum to swing it.
I hear little people can achieve big things.
True. And he's like, you know, he's gonna get bigger.
Yeah.
Over time. And
Zfreek trying to have a little bit more fun with Inflame, DDC. Yeah, she kind of got attacked before by Zfreek and brought down pretty low. I think that Sata having an easy Hadouken.
And
Slaughter, bottom lane. They're going to have another bit of a play around.
Yeah, Ahfu just wants to use his stun because he got an arcane rune. But he also doesn't want to commit too hard for it because
he's going to get Open
got
Venom gushed up and then have a hard time getting away.
Yeah, that's really throwing me off, that Gush level 1. But it's okay.
With Kraken,
covered.
you can't get much more space because the Ogre is... Okay, the Ogre's actually backed off now, so he does have the space to hit 3.
And Monet even using 3, getting some denies. It like gently he like brushes you with it.
Sounds like a rustling bark.
Yeah.
Like when he like stutter attacks.
I'm obsessed with this hero. It's just so mid lane. Super. Gonna get them up. Now it's Kyle's trying to come mid. Brass things up a make things easier for your TA, who is kind of getting crushed in this mid lane so far. Difference of 300 gold so far.
They're well to attack. Spirit Cypher's going to begin. Here comes the Paralyzing Cask. Are they going to get a good bounce? Oh, it's going to stick on Kyle. And here comes Ahfu. So quick, so looking forward. Not even required, but the crush will connect into Limmp. There's one lane and one hero we haven't even talked about yet. And it almost feels like a TC kind of style hero for an American side. Razor safe lane.
That is a name that I haven't heard quite some time, but yes.
TC.
This Razor has gone relatively uncontested, tops in net worth. We saw the Razor Omni weird matchup in the other game, the SG one, as the Razor pretty much free farms against it. Like, Omni can't really do too much. For the most part, you're just like spamming out your kills when you can, and Zfreek even making this aggressive rotation in, which Doctor doesn't quite have cast yet though.
Oh, Moo. Trouble for him on bottom lane, and well, I say that Monet has his tree, so GG.
Yeah, with no tree.
But this Paralyzing Cast making it very difficult for Zfreek to at least get the initiation that he wants. He's not losing his creeps to it.
Yeah. He's just gonna fire in. Creep shock wave, but
yeah. This type of hero, I just love to have complexity pick for Zfreek, which is able to really dictate the game and showcase his skill as a player.
Yeah, where do you rate him, Toby?
Zfreek?
Big fan?
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Zfreek. I'd love to see what he could do if he's on like another team at some point too.
Hold that thought, man.
I will hold that thought for about, well, I don't know, until Swindles dies. Never going to disappear. Like, they're never going to separate.
Ahfu pausing the game. Probably another tech.
Kali.
I think that this squad though can have a lot of success. They probably just like haven't quite gotten over that hump yet, like because things are like pretty good for them, but
something is wrong somewhere.
they're a good team. They got 4th, I think, when they played what was that event, like Starlat? They just like haven't quite put it all together yet, but I don't know if they're that far away from doing so.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of tournaments, a lot of room to grow, and they got a lot of time to do it.
Yes, sir. So far in this one, it's been a rough start for them.
Yeah, like that's also like the worst game one you can think of, right? Like you've wonderfully shut down a PA, and then you give just one free kill on top, which gives a little bit of strength, but then it's the triple kill that came directly after that. I was like, okay, well, we kind of missed our window. We had our IO Tiny. We lost with the IO Tiny. And now LFY are going to play the Tiny against them. I'm hoping mentally Complexity can stay on top of things. They are a very emotional team. Any team with Kyle, of course, does go down that line. They're very good at riding the wave of winning. It's one of those times when I never really want to like doubt Complexity. It's like the way I used to doubt MVP, and then I learned not to.
Oh, that was hilarious.
You wouldn't stop giving me crap about that.
I mean, because it was just a funny situation, man. Sometimes you got to be wrong about stuff. And that was godlike. I'm gonna tell that story sometime. That was good.
You've told that story a couple of times already, I think.
Yeah. Set the stage. Just TI4. VP. You know, the Koreans are finally coming up. Toby said, they've got 0 chance at beating VP. And I said, Toby, I'm not sure, man. I told him they beat DK in some scrims, and he said, whoever told you that is lying. They've got 0 shot. But, you know, miracles happen.
Yeah. I always, like, it's always a double-sided edge. Like, I'm happy to be wrong, mainly because when it comes to the cast, I actually am legitimately surprised. So, emotion equal pure.
But the thing is, what both these teams, like, they don't have, I mean, they've got some standout players, but for the most part, like, LFY and Complexity, they kind of base things more on teamwork. Like, both these sides, they don't have that, like, superstar player, necessarily. They're just, like, solid across the board, and they make that work, and I think that's really cool to see, like, the value of hard work, where it brings teams like this. Like, both these teams, for me, like, mirror in that sense. I mean,
So, I actually look for like the highlight players from both these teams, and then the support players that do the work, and then it just gels everything else together. Like Ahfu and Zfreek, for me, they just do so much for both of their sides.
that's a crazy looking tight set. And
You would think you'd have back problems, right?
I think it's okay.
You'd also think you'd have legal problems. I think
No.
Bioshock would like their intellectual property back.
It's the weirder thing is like just the balance of like holding that giant thing up. The tree, clearly gravity doesn't like apply very well in this game.
Well, how else would you do it? Like there was the bug with the tiny with one of Tiny's cosmetics where it'd make him look like he was just sliding on his side when he'd move forward, which would be accurate.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But shouldn't that, is that one way to balance treat Limmp? Well, he's in trouble. Super as well as DDC. Now you got defensive refraction, but Super, he's still got more. Cypher's up his sleeve. Limmp under the tower. DDC, did you grab the aggro with time? Now the troll trap is here. You've got Zfreek's rotation. Super, not
the
anything
slow.
else left in the tank. He'll go down to Zfreek. And the carrying Enchantress is on her way.
And that's a very big pickup for them.
top
If they
tower
get
is
nothing
being
out of that,
attacked.
very unfortunate. But instead, they do get the return kill. It goes on the Enchantress, player that you did want to see, Zfreek.
Now they're going to go for Moo. God damn, Monet. He's still hitting so hard now with the avalanche toss. So is this the kind of when you pick up a tree, your movement speed should be slowed because obviously your weight has increased.
Nah, if anything, it makes you go faster because you're not really able to see where you're going, so you're just like skipping forward.
Forward momentum, nice rooting and a heavy amount of damage in for Chessie. Purification will not save Inflame.
Very well done so far by Complexity. At the same time, Gold Bleed still in favor of LFY. But this Razor has gone untouched. And a better hero overall for Chessie to be able to scale. That last game, like it was inevitability for them to lose once the Tiny died. This time around, he's got a hero that can equally scale with his brother as...
They want to go again on bottom. Moo. Oh, Moo. Into the trees. Ahfu's that clamp. Not going to happen.
Very nice juke as he makes it away. His round.
Inflame. Ignite's going to try and slow him down. So he has the movement speed. He does to get back at 312. Reaches the tier 2 tower. And the safety of the coconut of DDC. Super again. That is just a graphical glitch. He is actually spirit siphoning the Templar Assassin.
So far, so good. They're going to make their way around top. They know that this Omni Knight will have repel.
He actually stopped for a second. The troll backed up for a half moment. I mean, they're trying to avoid the coconut doing the work, and Chessie, he can just reach with that lightning.
217 damage a hit. He wants to push this tower right now. He wants to get some free hits on this tower. He's going to do so. Fort is instantly going to get popped as in mid.
Their towers.
trap, one after another.
Radiant's top tower is under siege.
I actually wonder how much pop damage you can do with your traps now. Oh, other attack. Creep Wave's having a hard time sticking up with Super. Kyle rotation in as well.
A soldier's fortune.
Nothing but stealing. Avalanche. Oh, it barely connects to Monet. But they can toss the watermelon like a salad. Move around the tree. Try and duke it out. Won't. Kyle can't get there in time.
They're gonna turn back around on this.
Oh,
Ahfu,
wow.
he's got stunned in 1 second.
Monet, well, cut through. Picks up a tree, and now slapping in Kyle with the Maldic and the paralyzing cast. Chessie and Limmp. Monet starts his teeth. A little bit more trouble for Ahfu. He will fall.
This will only hurt
Again,
forever.
they get the better trade of it, grabbing a core. At the same time, with that tier 1 tower tree, taking complexity in an okay position as Chessie starting to rack up a lot of gold on himself. I'm going to start this ancient camp with Limmp. But Limmp desperately needs something. He is quite far behind in this game right now. Not a lot of gold to his name, not a lot of farm. Almost a full 1,000 net worth behind this Death Prophet. In fact, is so.
Well, his advantage is he's pretty good at farming up Ancients, even with 2 points up in side blades. But he needs the space to be created for this. It's a little too obvious when no one is in the mid lane. And how long will it take before LFY just start forcing down buildings and restricting this area where they can farm? It's exactly what they're doing as they move towards the top lane at the cover of smoke. Prep being done by Omni Knight to get in around the back.
That was like perfect timing here. Like, when will they go for it as soon as they smoked?
Dire's middle
And
tower
now,
taking
Ahfu,
damage.
who's absolutely been
More
obliterated in
smoke
this
breaks.
game.
They know where Zfreek is. Ahfu. Well, Zfreek doesn't have a control creep. He's got a really decent amount of regeneration, but with both Exorcism and Spirit Siphon, that's a hard place to survive.
Chessie, though, got a kill. Bottom
see?
lane, they went for the dive on the Witch Doctor, was successful, and I think they want to continue this with Death Prophet ult expended. Moo.
Yeah, but they're going to lose
Dire's
top lane.
middle
Like, you've
tower
got
is being
Exorcism out.
attacked.
Moose just starts his TP out. So, a tier 1 tower on the top lane is guaranteed to go down on Complexity's side. Not so much in the bottom, because Razor has no more of that stolen damage.
Yeah, and Super said, very good use of his ultimate. Gets a kill,
Radiant's bottom
softens
tower
up that
under
tower. He's
fire.
probably going to want to for this
Dire's
one.
top tower
Yeah.
is
With the
being
TP up from the
attacked.
Tidehunter, very unlikely that they go for the defense of this.
There's also a new
Radiant's
catapult wave
bottom tower
arriving
is
for
being
LFY.
attacked.
So Inflame was
Dire's
able
top
to
tower
just
is
choke
under
up the
siege.
Complexity one.
Dire's top tower is
Gold lead,
destroyed.
just going back and forth based on
Radiant's
the
bottom
towers.
tower under fire.
As once again it swings in LFY's
Radiant's
favor as a
structures
result
are
of this top tower
fortified.
being taken, but it's really quite close.
It seems like, again, like we find ourselves in this position with Complexity where, like, obviously it happened later into game 1, but it's one hero who has most of the power. And that's coming from the Razor Templar Assassin with absolutely nothing. You've
Dire's
sacrificed
middle tower is
on
being attacked.
multiple lanes to ensure the Razor had a good start. How does this now pay off? Like, do you get utility items? Do you get the aggressive, like, well, he's going stat items with the S and Y?
Yeah, I think this is one of the better ways to keep up with the Tiny, who does have a very good base for move speed. And
Radiant's bottom
you just
tower
need these
under
mid-game
fire.
items to be able to kite, work your way around. EKB not effective this game.
Blink Dagger for Tiny.
Radiant's
He goes
bottom
Shadow.
tower is being attacked.
Finds
It's going to be
Chessie.
a lot of damage with the
TP
amp.
support's coming in. There's the Avalanche. Ahfu needs to close the distance.
Look at the speed.
And now toss it
Radiant's
forward.
middle tower
Chessie.
is
He
being
is just so damn fast.
He's gonna toss
And
him.
no! Oh, he tosses in Ahfu. Well, this is why you need a
out of
Blink
your
Dagger.
depth.
You've got yourself.
Incoming.
Don't tell the elf.
Radiant's top tower is under siege.
Gotta
Selfish.
keep your references. Tiny as Aragorn.
Invisibility.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
That joke's never as good when you have to explain it.
Then was the joke good, Toby? To begin with?
It was just not to you.
Joke was on Razor though, as he gets squashed by the radar.
Oh, now it's Moo's turn. Invis, Ravage available. Difficult to kill off Super. They need a lot of extra help to come in. And Super
7,
Spirit
1
Siphon
charges.
1 charges up, and here comes your paralyzing
Maybe with a
casket.
really nice
Maledict
cast.
Super! He lives through this for all
Oh,
the solid
no.
damage. GDC down to one. Chessie will pop to Maledict. Ahfu will take the experience, but the ultimate coconut.
Chessie just respawned for that, Toby. He just came back into the game. Consecutive deaths. Not the kind of start that they were exactly hoping for, as complexity. Oh, that hurts.
Oh boy.
Dying back to back like a core, especially in that fashion, that was supposed to be a very easy kill on the
bottom
Death
tower
Prophet.
You can see it again with that start from Moo.
Dire have fortified
Like, he got the
their
lockdown
towers.
stunts, but he got his 1 charges off before Kyle actually hit him with the blast.
Yeah, and he even turns around for the second Spirit Siphon, barely keeps him alive. That final tick, 11 HP was how low he got. Even gets the kill on Moo, add insult to injury, DDC. Such a great support player.
Right time, right place. His disruptor from game 1 was perfect.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing him again with probably like the double ulti hero.
Yeah, and now they're making their way around to mid. Monet has that tree available, shadow bladed up.
Chessie got a purification, amplification damage. It's just
Third death in
welcome to Dota.
yeah, third death in
Dire's middle
20
tower
minutes, I
taking
think.
damage.
Like,
Yeah,
he-
it may even be less than that.
Bottom tower is
Like, it
being
may even be
attacked.
like in 2, considering how fast it's all moved.
And despite that, I
Dire's
mean,
middle tower is being
Gold League
attacked.
is not really that favorable. LFY,
Dire's middle tower
everybody
has
is still
fallen.
doing a decent job of keeping up. I mean, that's largely on the fact that this Witch Doctor has 0 net worth, but with this Roshan, things are going to look a little bit different. Super going to pop the Exorcism for it with the amplified damage. Not a whole lot that Complexity can do, even if they were aware of this, and they are. They were sitting under a trap when they walked in there.
You want to jump in, however, like, you got a Blink Dagger over on a Slaughter who's just creating space, fires on Limmp, will crush him. It's more distraction. And Ahfu can quickly get back now with the new changes for him just to, well, be
Both
even
about to
slipperier
find out
on wet.
What happens after you die?
When you make that aggressive move
Radiant's
forward,
bottom
Toby,
tower
everyone
is
thinks
being
that
attacked.
there are people behind you.
Yeah.
Radiant
It's
having
like, wait, were they baiting
unfortified
Roshan?
structures is
Monet
now a thing of
doesn't
the
have his Blink
past.
Dagger, he's only got that Shadow Blade to work with,
Radiant's
but
middle tower is
knows
being
exactly where... I sort of knows exactly where Zfreek
Sort
is.
of.
Oh, got the wrong throw it back, but it won't matter. That's the Observer Ward. Actually, was it? No, it was that. The Dire Observer Ward. Their Radiant one was a little bit further north.
And that's only one level of untouchable. Oh, Tiny still swings pretty fast. That is not a very tanky Enchantress that we're used to seeing, and Inflame is starting to catch back up now as he gets gone on Limmp with the Blink Dagger, makes his way forward, but this feels
Radiant's
more like a
middle tower
desperation.
is
That's
taking
extra help.
damage.
You've got him rotating over, but that stun is not going to be in range. Inflame completes the TP before Kark can get in range for the Fire Blast.
Yeah, look at the cast range on that level 1 Fire Blast without the cast range talent. It's so unbelievably low. Another failed attempt for Complexity, who is still doing a very good job of keeping up as a result of just farming a lot of these Ancients. They're still shoving in the waves quite aggressively.
Yeah, but it's getting out of control when LFY was dictating the pace of this game. And the Razor just can't stand. Like we talked about, like how great the start was for Razor. What then happens? Like, what items do you buy? What do you transition into? You die back to back or back to back to back, and that talk of transition doesn't exist anymore. It's like, how do I not die?
Dire structures
At
are
bottom,
fortified.
tower.
And
being
Moo
hit.
can't stop it.
Moo. I mean, we saw earlier today, it felt like Tidehunter was unkillable, but this Tidehunter
Yeah, he's
goes
very
down
killable.
fairly easily.
Dire's bottom tower
But he's just
is
got
in
no
pieces.
like stat items. Like raindrops is the best protection he's got at the moment.
Yeah. In the other game that we saw, of course, he was quite farmed. Had a full pipe completed on himself. Not easy to take down whatsoever, but in this game, like you said, one of the easier heroes to deal with.
Really well moved by LFY there. They realize that the attack is coming in from Complexity. They actually put an Observer Ward down, I believe, when Complexity smoked. That's the Observer Ward just north of the Ancients of Complexity.
Right, starting to get into a fight with Moo. But pace of the game slowing down a little bit here.
Zfreek, don't reveal yourself in mid. Oh, he's dead.
Wounded
That's
to my
not-
heart.
Hurts
Dire's top tower is being attacked.
They had two coming from the north, the one coming from the front.
There was a... Alright, there wasn't.
I even love the fact like you have Zfreek with his creep there. He doesn't even do it. It's like straight death ward.
Ahfu misses on the blink.
Dire's top tower
Doesn't quite
has
know where
fallen.
Limmp is. As Limmp melds, hides, should be able to get out of here as Ahfu is still kind of looking around, seeing if there's an opportunity here to be made, but there isn't.
So the only safe place for the TA to be is just to go into LFY's jungle. Meanwhile, Kyle, like the second someone reveals himself in lane, they have to be worried. Like blink initiation, toss initiation. If you could amplify any of those stats, any of that extra armor you think you have to survive, it just doesn't exist. And Complexity have no answer to that. I say amplified just because I'm going old school. Mist or whatever it is now. Oh, there goes Ahfu. That's one way to get rid of it. Corrosive haze.
Yes, and a very easy kill for them, but same time Complexity, they need more than that. They need more than just the 4 positions. Slowdar. The high ground though is taken by LFY. I think they're going to back out of this. It's still a little bit scary for them to take these fights.
You do have Exorcism as well as Death Ward back up again, but there's no reason why you don't just regroup. Keep the lanes pressured out. But how far do you just keep taking tier 2 towers? You try and force the fight while you're Aegis the Immortal?
I think so. I don't know if you need to force anything too much though. It's still scary. Like if you get ravaged into the right kind of fight, the game can kind of reset. And in these 2-game series, it's very important that you clean up the game, make sure that you're going to win it. It's not like these best of 3s where it's like, okay guys, we messed up in game 2, let's kind of reset, we're still the better team than them. You only get 2 chances to prove it.
Well, here comes LFY, stacked up. Ahfu and DDC. Support boys, ready to kill off that Razor. Paralyzing cast will be thrown out at the Baltic. They have enough damage and he'll pop from this.
Will return.
On a killing spree with the Exorcism.
Oh,
but they
now
won't
they fight
cover.
Kyle. It's like, it's the cheese on the pizza right now. It just makes everything so tasty. Limmp adding pressure to the bottom lane. Ahfu does TP in. He'll get the crush off, canceling out the TP.
Oh no, he's amped up, and there's a tiny hunting him from behind Limmp.
Cuts through the trees. There's your avalanche. It burns through so many defensive reaction charges, and Zfreek, he attacks from the tree lines, but there's not a lot he could really do. Defensive refraction back up, Limmp, and he blinks, but Ahfu, the top! Oh, there's no way to escape. How do you run away from this?
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Or splinters in this case.
He throws that purification on for good measure as Moo. Hasted up, but be dispelled immediately by that Yule Scepter. And I think he's just reluctant to use his Ravage because, Toby, if you use a Ravage once in this game and it fails and you lose the fight, then there goes a lot of your hope. Like, that's the only thing I think holding LFY back from just, like, straight up going for it.
Oh, they're just going to kill him off the old-fashioned way then, Moo. Okay, maybe not. Kraken is too good. Yule Scepter up, DDC's got Paralyzing Cast available. Tosses it out. Now the Maledict once more. Again, Corrosive Haze. They can just chain these really low cooldown and low mana cost abilities to get the picks when Complexity are out of position. Now, no Ravage, 42 seconds, because no Tidehunter for that long.
Don't even need Exorcism.
Is now but a memory.
That's even scarier. Maybe that's the other reason too. You understand the second you lose the Tide Ravage, then you lose high ground. If Exorcism is up, and then that Aegis Immortal is also available, like it's mid-ranks. And Complexity aren't even coming back. They're actually letting their mid-ranks fall. Templar Assassin is nearby, but they take the trade-off on the top.
There's absolutely no chance that they can fight that without their Tidehunter. They couldn't fight it.
They jump in. He said no chance, but they're giving it a crack anyway. Limp's almost down. Limp is down. He won't buy back. They've already lost their melee ranks. They just need some kind of consolation prize. But after was that box of chocolate, he'll go down to Chessie. But you've lost your mid lane of racks. You claimed a tier 1 tower up on top and some decent damage to tier 2. But your TA died for a slaughter on top.
Yeah, not gonna feel good about that trade. Well, maybe you are, because they are. The nature of the game is they're down 9,000 gold. Trading a core for a support doesn't seem that bad anymore.
And you didn't blow Ravage to get the counter kill.
Yeah, you probably get another attempt at this, but it's got to be a good Ravage, Toby.
Yeah, it's gonna be around Roshan as well. They need LFY in a choke point.
Yeah,
and if they give both Aegis and Cheese over, to LFY in the next fight, then it looks to be done. Like, you're going to ravage, fantastic, but unless you got like 500 billion stolen damage from Chessie, you aren't going to win that fight. Now Chessie gets initiated on Moo. There's your ravage from Monet. He was repelled up. He didn't actually get touched at all, but Moo touched all over. 2 heroes down for complexity, and now tossed forward in the Omni Knight, slowing down Zfreek. Degen or reduce the range, doesn't matter when you got tossed. You're right on top of them, and now the follow-up into Ogre through the layers of fat which protects him from the cop. Ahfu, such a quick fish, right behind the Ogre Magi, and Super coming in with the exorcism. 4 heroes from complexity here will die. Kyle is making him work for it though. But the push is moving towards the bottom tier 2 tower. So Ahfu and DDC can work together to kill off Kyle. Unless he can deny himself to something. Anything?
Another stun is gonna land. The trap is there too. It's gonna connect. It's gonna make things a little bit more difficult as Kyle.
What
is this run? I have no idea. There's 2 heroes that are just slowly chasing him. Nobody.
Eventually it works against him though, because
He's out of mana now.
Yeah, okay, he's out of mana and Ahfu is out of range, so he can't keep any ability on him. So the blink that comes off cooldown and he closes the distance and kill happens. But a good minute. It could have been wasted.
Yeah, they did. I mean, that was sick. He resets things a little bit. They were trying to go for that bottom right after, but they were unable to do so. Maybe they still make it work anyways, but Super doesn't have that exorcism anymore.
And LFY would love a pickup before they go up again. But you do actually have that timer, right? Like, you just wait for the next...
Oh, for sure. You can wait for the next
Roshan.
Yeah. You have Slardar in it. Roshan's always a possibility for your team, and you do it quickly too. I think in the last game it looked a little bit awkward for complexity because they themselves had some difficulties going for Roshan.
Yep.
But LFY, they've got no issues doing it. Team Slardar always going to have the ability to do it.
Did I just see that wrong? Was that a heart coming onto the Tiny? Or was that Death Prophet? It's Tiny. Yeah, Tiny has a heart lined up.
Yeah, he's got it queued up. He just was like, if I don't get bursted, this fight kind of ends, and we saw how difficult it was for them to get the burst. That was a pretty good Ravage. But even with that, they weren't able to kill anybody.
It just seems so sad that like you get the Ravage off, but you understand like someone's gonna be repelled. In that case, it was Tiny. Like Tiny was free to beat the crap out of everybody, and now Inflame caught out complexity. They have the damage.
Very nice kill for them. And now it's going to be Complexity who finally get a kill. Desperately needed that to make something happen on the map right now. Toby.
Yeah, they're coming for the tier 1. Money. Momentum.
Yeah, anything counts at this point.
Yep.
When you're down 12 gold and you're not even sure that you're going to win the late game, it's pretty important that you win these mini engagements at least.
Seems like a fantastic lane as well to get that with the movement of the shrine a little bit further back. Complexity remove that front TP position of LFY to contest this Roche. Now this is the moment they fight for. Chessie does not have his Storm available. Chiefest Guard from Super comes in close. Ravage from Moo, catching the back line. Have they got enough damage to kill that Death Prophet? Oh, she'll get the Yule Center on the paralyzing cast, bouncing through Roshan. Chessie will have to buy back into this but Super and DDC. They're cleaning up the rest of complexity. Roshan is low, and they're going for the mid. Ahfu, he wants Limmp. They're hiding. They know exactly where he is. Ping, 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 ping. Silence, and now bring him out of it. No. Madters, how many AoE abilities have you got left? Crush? Okay, you got enough of them. You can't throw them.
They finally bring him down.
Oh, they got more. They actually rooted Chessie. This will be a dieback from Chessie. Tossing in Super, closing the distance. And that should be the game. 70 seconds without the raid. They don't need Roshan now, and they're going for the tier 4 towers. They understand they got this game firmly shoved in the bag. Ignore the picks on the counterboard. LFY, they got game 1, and they're looking to take this series 2-0.
Without a buyback available on the Razor, a little bit too much momentum loss. Limmp is going to buy back. There's no Ravage. They're still going to try to make the play forward. Ahfu is going to be their target, but nobody being brought down right now. Zfreek.
If they can defend this, if they can make him waste time, Limmp to kill off the back lines. Kyle, he's fighting underneath his own fountain. He's trying to survive this, but Monet, he doesn't give two hoots on that Tiny. He'll catch out more. They got the paralyzing cask out. TA still on the move, trying to reduce that damage with the anchor smash, but it doesn't stop Monet with his avalanche toss combination. 4 heroes gone, and so is the game for Complexity. LFY, it was a wonderful showing in the second half of Game 1, and Game 2, it was a beautiful display.
This was very dominant. 27 minutes of a short one. LGD absolutely cleaning house with Complexity. They're saying to themselves, like,